Join us, support us, join us, support us. Just because the media is massive, we have draconian laws, we have brutal police action, and we have the judiciary working at the behest of the political leaders. Join us, support us.
The population had grown up close to 40,000 people. So we are sitting on what's called the Comstock Lode, named for Henry Comstock, one of the early settlers involved in that first gold strike. The Comstock Lode is a 2-mile area that has these deposits of really good paying ore, some not so good, and then there's just tendrils of barren rock. They built 3 mining towns on top of the Comstock Lode: Virginia City, Gold Hill, and Silver City. And by 1870s, there was 28,000 people, give or take, in Virginia City, and another 10,000 between these 2 towns. All these rectangles are the mining operations. There was over 300 of those. So this mine's the best in Belcher, one of the early mines, because they started mining in 1860. Right. So miners have about 20 different names for digging a hole in the ground. This particular style of mining is called drift mining. That's when you go horizontally into a mountainside. The way you support a drift is just like you see. It's basically a doorway. It's called a rib in a cap. But when you take out a chunk of ore the size of a football field at 1,200 feet, one's a different way of support, and I'll tell you how we accomplish that. Meanwhile, as we walk through this drift, we opened this tunnel up in 1980s, and it was very tight. Men back then, average size Victorian, about my size, 5'7". Miners tended to be 5'5", a little bit shorter. We dug this tunnel out an extra 6 to 12 inches on the floor just to make it more roomy. This is a very tight little spot. And I actually started out at 6 feet tall, but when I got the job, I was forced to do 4 vertebrae, so I became so serious up there about that.
Well, no, you're...
All right, come on up. You'll be able to see an old work area all the way up. I'll stand here. There's an ore bucket in there, an ore car. Now, this ore bucket's pretty small. This is an early mine. There's history. We're living in history here. All these buildings, 1860s, 1870s down the street. You've got antique lighting, all antique pickle casters. If they were really into pickles, I don't know what the deal was. But at the bucket of blood, there's 3. You've got the pickle casters. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you've got 3 foot tall 2 silver champagne buckets that came out of the Millionaires Club over at the Twain. Then there's pictures all over. So check out the photos. There's a big panorama above the stage that shows the town in its heyday. And you see these big buildings, sprawling buildings with smokestacks. Those are the mining operations when things are really humming. Smokestacks held these huge steam engines powering these elevators, moving men and machinery thousands of feet. Now, the men in the mine that ran the elevators were called engineers or hoistmen. They got paid more than the miners, even though it wasn't manual labor, but you had to be smart and responsible. A lot of guys got hurt in vertical areas. The way miners would communicate to the guy 2,000 feet up running the steam engine was by pulling on a long cable attached to a bell. And that's the way you tell him that you're ready for him to hoist an ore bucket or an elevator with men.
No cell phones? That's crazy.
No, and you couldn't even get reception. Like even here you can't get reception. So they went to bells.
Bells.
Bells, yes.
Awesome.
Here, little 1860s special effects for you there. Okay, you want to ring it? Don't pull it too far. There you go. Very nice. 2 bells means you stop in motion. But it's pretty cool. The sign for all the bell codes is out front of the ticket booth.
Cool.
Now this, huh?
Cool.
Yeah. Bells, sweet. There's another neat connection with the Bay Area. It happened 100 years after the heyday. So 1960s, early 1970s, we had Bay Area bands like Jefferson Airplane and Grateful Dead, Big Brother and the Holding Company with Janis Joplin. They came over to Virginia City and they did psychedelic light shows, and psychedelics no doubt, at the Red Dog Saloon down C Street.
Yeah.
This is our homage to those psychedelic days. These rocks contain minerals and they fluoresce under black light like my old Jimi Hendrix poster. So I'm going to cut it. You ready? Here we go. Wait for it. Wait for it. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, it's broken. Let's go. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it is not a 5th grade art project. That's really happening. And if you're curious, that blue that you see, that mineral is called scheelite, and they get tungsten from that. That's used in tungsten steel. It strengthens blades. Turn off your flash. And filament for light bulbs, or if you want to get a before picture, turn on your flash, but that'll show up.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so scheelite, that's the blue stuff. And the reddish orange is calcite. The yellowish green is winterite.
Oh, yes. We know those stones well.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Cool. All right.
We're impressed. Good job.
I should just quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about the working conditions, the guys that work here, the tools that they use. Now, first of all, this is world famous out here. People came from all over the country, out east, California. They weren't making money from that gold rush of 49 through the 50s and came over here. And then also a lot of European guys. Cornishmen from Wales worked the mines, Irishmen, Germans, Italians. Now, the conditions. Mines ran 8-hour shifts and they ran 24/7. Nevada, you probably know this, but Nevada has over 300 natural 5-foot rectangles. Original square set. All these support posts would be cut outside beforehand by the carpenters, not the band. They weren't around. They'd be cut to an even length, about 6 feet long. They would notch out each end like this, like a little stair-step puzzle piece. So this is the coming together of 4 6-foot posts. Never mind what's going on around it, but 6 foot, 6 foot, 6, right? 6. You could plug one into here. You could plug one in the back if you wanted. If the rock wall was here, you'd leave that off and you'd backfill. 2 men would start and they dig out an area roughly 6 by 6 by 6, and they gradually and then completely create a cube out of these puzzle pieces. They backfill the side against the cavern wall. They go to the next section, same thing, but that cube plugs to the back of this one, shares a common side. You can go in all directions as long as the cube plugs in right to the preceding one. And you end up with hundreds, maybe thousands of these cubes, all interconnected, one massive superstructure. There is no glue or anything in the joint itself. It's the pressure of the cavern pushing in on the whole thing that keeps it nice and tight and stabilizes it. But it was brilliant. Never patented it again. But there were no major cave-ins because of that square set timber.
What about your bird? I know that whole thing.
Yes.
What do they usually use? What kind of birds do they usually
Canaries.
use? Okay.
Yes, my boss thinks that I need well, actually I do. I usually put them on the tour, but I cut this one a little short. Sorry, caught me.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, male canaries specifically. They use those in the mines. There's an old saying, "Canary in a coal mine," in a great old police song. Male canaries, they sing constantly.
I love all the music references, by the way.
Some of the guys don't get it, especially people your age.